Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a horror movie review and I'll be having a look at the movie Scarecrow. And this is a 2013 sci-fi original movie that was obviously made for TV. Now there's been a lot of Scarecrow movies sort of in the past, some of which have been pretty damn scary, and I think the Scarecrow as a kind of, as a boogeyman is actually quite a frightening idea. And previous films have had a pretty good track record, I think, of actually bringing this kind of, this beast to life with some gory effects. So what's this film like? Well, let me just tell you a little bit about the plot first of all. The plot here is very simple. Ultimately, you've kind of got a group of young people being taken on kind of daytime detention to dismantle an old scarecrow to kind of bring it into the town to put up with this kind of Scarecrow Festival. And they're accompanied by an adult who is like an adult teacher who then meets a couple of other of these kind of friends, so to speak, out in this kind of like farm area, one of which who owns the kind of the farm. Anyway, it turns out that these kind of kids just before them have awoken this sort of trapped spirit, which is kind of this sort of scarecrow creature, and of course they're all very quickly they're attacked pretty quickly. There's no sort of like hanging around with this movie, and they're kind of trapped on this sort of farmhouse for a short time, and kind of as they sort of try to make their escape and go through various different kind of landscapes as they try to make their escape away from this kind of rural farm area. And that's basically the plot. It's very simple. They're not trying to do anything original here. I guess the one thing of note here is the actual creature itself. Now, you've seen Scarecrow movies before. This one is kind of a different design. And I strict to say it's really a scarecrow at all. In fact, the actual creature is kind of almost like a sort of a branch creature or something like that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a skinny Man-Thing from the Man-Thing movie. Now, the creature is all CGI, and that's going to put some people off because obviously TV budget, sort of sci-fi original movies, CGI is never normally that good. But I have to say the actual design of the creature I actually did quite like, and it has this kind of like clicking sound, like a bit like a predator, which makes it kind of quite ominous. But it does look very CGI, certainly in a lot of sort of shots. The first half of this movie is actually kind of in daytime, which I think it doesn't really help, to be honest, because it's not really a frightening film. It's kind of almost more like a kind of one of these sort of horror / action films. It plays more like an action film in a lot of ways, and there's not actually any real sort of scares here. There's a couple of sort of sort of gory deaths, I suppose, but nothing really that's going to sort of shock you too bad. This is a TV movie. But other than that, it's all very kind of average here. The plot is average, the actors are kind of all pretty much average. It's not necessarily bad, but there's nothing really here that's going to sort of stand out from the crowd. I mean, the creature design itself is pretty good, but ultimately he's just a kind of Terminator-like boogeyman, and that doesn't really have any sort of character of himself. Not that he necessarily has to, but apart from the design, there's not a lot actually to him. So overall, this film isn't a bad movie. It's certainly, you kind of know what you're going to get from it if going into this movie first of all, but it's certainly not going to be remembered as kind of one of the great scary Scarecrow films that we've had previously. So I'm just going to give this movie a straight 5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.